This is my hexacopter with the Taro frame, Pixhawk, and I've shown you guys the DYS gimbal. I'm finally getting that tuned in. I'm going to do a video that shows how to get remote shutter and live video out of your Sony Nex5. And what I want to demonstrate in this video, and this is solely for aesthetic purposes, is you'll notice that I'm flying APC props. These are the multi-rotor version, and if you're not familiar with APC, I pretty much only found these guys to come in the color gray. So I wanted to demonstrate the process that I went through of dyeing the prop to get it black. And ultimately, it'll just make me feel a little bit better about it, having something blacked out versus these gray props. Now this is a super cheap mod that you can do, pretty easy. I'm actually quite impressed with the results. These are my 12-inch APC props, and I'm going to upgrade to a 13-inch, but originally this guy was all gray. And what I used was just a little box of Rit Dye. This runs about $1.50 to $2. I'll put a link to it below. You can find this on Amazon. I actually was able to locate some at the local grocery store, which was great. It comes in a powder format, which is what you'll find in this box, as well as a liquid. So don't have any experience with the liquid. The powder form worked really well for dyeing these props. So what you see here is a black trash can filled with water, and I used, in this case, 2 boxes of Rit powder dye just because there's enough water in here and I figured it would dye it a little bit quicker. And inside the Rit box, there's some good instructions that talk you through how to do this via stovetop. Now, I didn't use a pot. What I did is I ultimately got the water to about 150 degrees. Then I transferred that warm water into the trash can, poured the dye in, mixed it up, then dropped my propellers into the witch's brew. Just figured that would be a bit safer than using a kitchen pot. So this plastic black trash can ran about $6, and it's worked nicely for this project. So using my handy Ziploc plastic glove, I'm going to bring up one of these props. I'll shake it off and I'll just lay it down. And here's another. Now be careful with this dye because you get it on your hand, it'll definitely stain, or get it on your clothes. So you definitely want to take caution when you mess around with this stuff. I already got it on a white t-shirt and it's definitely not coming out. If you can keep your water warm for some period of time, it definitely will expedite the process. So in this case, I heated up the water to about 150 degrees Fahrenheit, transferred it into the trash can, and then let the props soak for about 48 hours. And let me just mention that what you'll find is if you don't leave it in the dye long enough, you'll notice a little bit of a purple bluish tint here on this prop. And so I took those out prematurely and definitely should have left them in a little bit longer. And here's a good example of a prop that I left in for about 2 days. You can see that it's nice and black throughout. One last tip I'd like to mention is, I'm not sure what type of balancing process you may use. If you're the type that likes to shave weight off with some fine grit sandpaper, make sure you get those balanced before you do the dye. Otherwise, if you try to sand it after the fact, you're definitely going to see some of that purple or blue show up. If you're a Scotch tape balancer type of guy, then obviously that's not going to be a problem. You can dye it and put the tape on after you're done. And I'm going to let these formerly gray APC Multirotor props dry out. Then I'll put them on the Hexa and be ready to go. If you guys have any suggestions or other tips that you have related to dyeing your props, love to hear them. And there are obviously lots of different colors of Rit dye that you could try to apply to your gray APCs. And as you can see, that's a pretty cheap and easy process that you can follow to improve the overall aesthetics of your multi-rotor. If you guys have any questions or comments, please post them below. And until next time, thanks for watching.